Hi guys, welcome to day 17 of the 20 days of Power BI challenge with Zakrak Learning. Yesterday, we learned about creating calculated columns and measures in Power BI using DAX formulas. Today, I'll be showing you how to use time intelligence function to perform more analysis on your data, mostly date and time related analysis. In Power BI, time intelligence refers to a set of specialized functions and techniques designed to analyze and visualize your data over a period of time. So you want to see trends, you want to discover patterns over time in your data. You use time intelligence functions to do that. So these functions allow you to compare performance across different time periods, all right? Analyze trends, seasonality, year over year, month over month comparisons, like that. They also allow you to drill down into specific time frames, okay? So you want to explore your data day by day, month, quarter, or year, depending on your needs, all right? Time intelligence functions allow you to do that. Another thing it allows you to do is to create dynamic calculations, okay? So time intelligence functions allow you to automatically adjust calculations based on their current filter context. Okay, so for instance, you want to calculate your year-to-date sales regardless of the selected date range. You can do that by using time intelligence functions in Power BI. So this will also involve using some date functions in Power BI. You notice we've not talked about date functions since we started learning about DAX in Power BI. So we'll incorporate that into this lesson. Now, time intelligence functions work very perfectly with what we call a date table. So a lot of you might be wondering, for those who are already aware, why we've not created a date table is because we left that for this particular section of the course. Okay, so we'll be creating a date table. We'll create a date table, show you how to add a date table to your model. Your model is not complete without a date table. When you create a date table, Power BI can use that date table with the help of DAX to perform your time intelligence calculations. Okay, and what other reason makes a date table that important? Another reason is because a date table involves creating values for all the days within that time period, because that is what actually makes your time intelligence function very, very powerful. All the days without missing any day. Okay, so there are two functions that we are going to use to achieve that. Number one, the calendar function, or the calendar auto function. I mean, in creating a date table. So we'll be using the fact sale table. Okay, so you notice we have two dates there, the order date and the order date and the ship date, I guess. Do we have ship date? Yeah, so we have the order date and the ship date. Okay, so let's head over to our table view, that is the data view, and to create our calendar or to create our date table, we need to use the calendar function. What does the calendar function do? It helps you create values, date values for all the days within a particular time period. So regardless of the dates in our order date column, we want to create a complete date, all right, for all the periods of the data, from the minimum year up to the maximum year. Okay, so that is what time intelligence will use to power the functions or the DAX formulas we'll be writing thereafter. Okay, so we are going to create our date table. How do we do that? Like I said, we have two functions that can perform that for us: the calendar function and the calendar auto function. The auto there means the function takes a look at your data model and returns, it takes an argument. The argument is the end of your fiscal month and returns a comprehensive, it goes into your data model, checks for the maximum or minimum year, all right, and returns the values, all the dates within that period. So our data span from 2014 to 2017. Okay, so if you know that already, you can use it. All right, so let's just start. So I'll click on new table. Okay, so I'll just call this dates. I'll call the column dates. So be careful so it doesn't conflict with the date column you're about to create in your table. Okay, so I'll type calendar. Okay, so these are the two functions. So the calendar function allows you to impute a start date and an end date, while the calendar auto function only requires the what? Calendar end of month. That is the fiscal end of month, or fiscal year end month rather. Okay, so the fiscal year end month, if your fiscal year ends in June, July or December, that is all it needs. So for our data, let's say our fiscal year ends in month 12, which is 12. I'll close that bracket and hit enter. Okay, and you see the calendar auto function has generated those values for us from scratch. Okay, so you can see this is the what? The date 1st of 2014 up till December 31st of December 2017. Now you can format this, you can format it as you wish. Okay, you can format it. This is date and time, so we just want it to be date, so we only need the date part. So I'll just format this as date. We'll format this as date. Okay, so the format, just want that to be very simple. The day, month and year. Okay, so day, month and year, simple. So day, month and year, so we have that. So this is our date table. Okay, let me just see if we have something more. I want that to be day, the day, the month and the year. So day. Okay, all right, so that's fine. So the next thing we're going to do now is to extract columns from this table that we'll be using to perform time intelligence analysis. Okay, another thing you quickly notice here is this mark as date table option here. Okay, so if you mark this as date table, it will help us to what? To perform our calculations better. So can you see that? So select a column to be used what? Must contain only unique values. So apparently our date table now contains unique value in the date column. Okay, so nice. So we've marked this as our date table. So let's quickly extract some values from our the date column. Okay, so we'll call this year. There are lots of columns that you can extract. Because of time, we'll just extract the most important ones. So this is year. To extract the year, we use the year function, DAX function. Okay, so that will be year date. So the date table. Okay, so I'll put that, close the bracket, and hit enter. So we now have the date, the year. I'll add a new column and create the month. So month, this time around, we'll call it the month number. So this is the month number. So that will be what? Okay, so let's do the quarter first. Okay, so let's make it the quarter first. So quarter. So the quarter number. So that will be, we'll use the function format. All right, so the format. So the format is like the text function in Excel. Okay, followed by the date table column, and then the format we want is so all you need to do is type your Q's there. All right, for the quarter. If you want the month, that will be M. Okay, so I'll hit enter, and then you can see we have what? Quarter number. Apologies. So the Q will give us 4. So we just need 1 Q. So that is the quarter number. So new column to create the month number. So month number. So the month number is the month. So let's just use the month function, okay, to extract month from the date column. So this is the month number. Awesome. The next thing we are going to do, let's extract the month name. The month name is, we'll use the format for that. So format, okay, followed by the column dates, followed by the format. So we need the full month name. Now, when working with the format function or the text function, the number of characters you impute as your format determines how the output will be. So 1M will just be a single value. As you can see, a single value, just like what we have here. 2M's will be a double digit value, that is 01 for 1 month, 02, 03, like that. 3 will be the first 3 characters of the month name. So January will just be JAN, and then 4M's will return the full name of the month, or the full month name. So as you can see, this is what? January rather. Okay. Oh, did I format dates? How many M's are there? Okay. So that is 4. I think there was a mistake. there. All right, so I added an extra m there. Instead of 4, I put 5. Okay, so new column. So now that we've gotten the year, quarter number, month number, month name. Okay, so we want the short month. So short month will be format. Okay, followed by date. All right, and then 3 M's. Awesome. So you see short month. So you can go on and on. So let's say we want just Q. Let's say we just want Q1. All right. Instead of this quarter number, what we want is Q1. Right. We want Q1. So we'll just add our Q here. All right. Followed by the and symbol. Okay, so Q1 followed by the and symbol will give us this output. As you can see, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, month number, month name, and what? The month. Okay, so what else can we extract from here? You can also extract the weekday. You can also extract the weekday. Okay, so let's call this weekday. So that is the weekday. All right, so we will So you can also use the format function. I think I'd rather use the format function because that returns our value in text. So I'll use this. So I want the weekday name. So I want the full name. So I'm going to use 4 days to return the full day name. So as you can see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, up to Sunday. Okay, so now that we have this, right, let's add this to our data model. So I'm going to click on manage relationships. Okay, so good. Now let's go to our data model or the model view. So in the model view, our date table has now been added to, no, this is not the date table. So let's bring the date table into view. Okay, I'll just drag that. Okay. Awesome. Good. So we'll create a relationship between both tables by simply dragging and dropping date over the other date. So now the relationship has now been created. We can now use time intelligence functions to perform more interesting analysis on our data. Okay, now before we do that, all right, so I had to create this particular chart since we have now marked, we have now created a date table. All right, so one of the downside is every other date related visual you've created can be can begin to misbehave as soon as you mark a new table as your date table. Okay. All right. So let's create, like I said before, a measure. All right, using time intelligence function. Let's create a measure using time intelligence function very quickly. Now, one of those measures that you can create is, let's say for instance you want to compare current values, all right, current maybe this year's sales against last year's sales. All right, so there's a function called same period last year that you can use to create a measure that filters your date table for periods, all right, corresponding to what, last year's data in your date table. Okay, so we're going to combine that with the calculate function to create the measure. We're going to combine that with the calculate function to create our measure. Okay, now what you should know that is that what the same period last year does for you is to create a sort of temporary date table, all right, over the date table you already have, all right, but filtered to only contain rows of values for the previous year or for the previous period. Okay, so the same period last year can be used or to filter data for any context, all right, any level of interval from year to quarter to monthly, all right. So let's see how we do that. So let's find out the total profit. Okay, so let's find out total profits last year. Okay, so last year, total profit last year, we're going to use the calculate function. We've talked about the calculate function before. Okay, the calculate function helps you evaluate an expression while applying context using filters. All right, so that's the calculate function. What we need is the sales, that is the sales amount. We already have a measure for that, which is the total sales amount. Okay, so that's total sales amount. If we didn't have a measure for that, we would have had to use a function, that is the sum, because a value has to be an expression. All right, so that would have been sum of sales, that is, oh, I said profit, so sum of profit. Okay, followed by, let me expand that a little. All right, so followed by a comma there. Okay, and now we'll apply our filter. As you can see, the filter we want to apply is the function same period last year. Okay, so the same period last year returns a table of filtered dates, all right, from your date table. So now you see why we created the date table. Okay, so it only accepts, or time intelligence functions only work with date table, all right, standard date table, whether you without missing values, all right, missing days, without duplicate values. Okay, so we're just going to give it the dates column. So that is the dates column, and then I'll close the bracket and then close the final bracket. All right, so if we arrange this properly using shift enter, you see So this is what your formula will look like. Awesome. So the sum of profits, the total profit for the same period last year. Just hit enter and create a measure. Awesome. So our total profit for same period last year has been created for us. For same period last year has now been created for us. Okay, so a good way is to use a table visual to compare results. Okay, to compare results. So what we're going to do now is to add the year to our table. Let's add years to our table. Let's add years to our table. I'm just going to expand that very quickly. And we'll add the total profits. We'll add the total profits. Do we have that? Okay, so let's just add this as a measure. Okay, so this is the total profit. Okay, so we'll also add the total profit last year. Okay, now when we do that, you notice something. Okay, you notice that the profit for 2014 is not recorded. Yes, because as at 2014, when the business started, there was no profit in 2013. So that is why that is missing from this um, output. So you see that comparing 2015 and the previous sales, it's obvious that there was more profit in 2015 than the previous year. And you can also see that in 2016 there was more profit than in 2015, like that. Hence, the okay. So if we choose to visualize that in another way, okay, if you choose to visualize that in another way, say using we could use say a clustered, let's use a clustered column chart. All right, so we'll just pick the year and those columns we just use profit and total profit last year. Okay, so I've added that to my visual. And what do we have? Okay, you can easily visualize your profit and compare profit for both years. Okay, so that makes it very interesting. Time intelligence function allow you to manipulate and discover more trends in your data. Okay, so one last function we are going to use or we are going to create is the year to date sales. Okay, year to date sales because of our time. All right, so let's create a new measure. So let's say you want to find out um, what is the year to date sales for a particular value, all right, for a particular variable in your data. Is it sales? Is it profit? Any numeric variable? Is it quantity? So just year to date value, total year to date. Okay, we're going to see how to create that using our time intelligence function. Okay, so one interesting thing about the one interesting thing about time intelligence function is that it's very flexible on the dates. Okay, very flexible on the dates. And once you apply the function for maybe yearly interval, it's easy to apply it to monthly and quarterly intervals. Okay, so let's say we would like to find total sales year to date. Okay, so how do we go about that? Okay, so there's what we call total. You can see Power BI's intelligence has suggested them to us already. Total month to date, quarter to date, year to date, and so on. So we're just going to select the total year to date. Okay, and what is the expression? The expression is we want sales. All right, we want sales. Okay, so total sales. I think we have a measure for that already. So total sales amount, that is total sales amount. Okay, followed by the date. All right, so the date is the date column, all right, from our date table, and we have optional arguments that we can apply to our data. You can apply a filter, and then you can also apply a year end date. So supposing your fiscal year is not, you have a fiscal, your company has a fiscal year, all right, and the year end is not December 31st. You can specify that date in this year end argument. All you need is the month and the day. So let's say your year, the year or the company's fiscal year ends on maybe November 25th. You can just simply write that, okay, the month and the day as the year end. So what happens? The DAX formula, all right, recalibrates and only selects values between November 25th of the current year and November 25th of the next year. Okay, so but for now, let's just create our year to date sales. Okay, I'll close the bracket. All right, once I hit enter, our function or the value, the measure will be created for us. Awesome. So our total sales year to date has been calculated for us. So how do we know that this has worked? How do we know if it has worked? All right, so let's add that to the table visual we currently have. Let's add that to the table visual. Okay, we'll add that to the table visual. Oh, okay, I'll just remove those measures. I'll remove this and remove this. Okay, so this is total sales year to date. Let's add sales. Let's add the sales. So let's add sales. That is the total sales. Okay, so you can see this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, we have this is for 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. Okay, so let's do something. We'll add the month. Let's add the month name. Let's add month name to data. Let's add the month name. Awesome. So you can see that the sales, that is the total sales month year to date. Okay, let's use the month number. Okay, so that we can see it in a more in chronological order. Okay, so we'll just select do not summarize for that. Awesome. So this is 2014 Let me just focus on it. Okay. Okay. So this is 2014. This is the total sales. All right. This is the sales year to date column. So this is January 2014, and by the time you add these two together, you get the year to date, all right, value as at February 2014. And by the time you get to December, you now have what? The total sales, that is the cumulative sales for 2014. And you will notice that the values reset, all right, in January 2015. Okay, so when you calculate that up to December, you get what? The total sales for 2015. Okay, so the best way to look at your year-to-date sales is monthly, and the best way to look at quarter-to-date sales is, the lower hierarchy, like that. Now, let's say you want to I'll remove the month number. All right, you can also take a look at it from the quarter number point of view. All right, you can take a look at it from the quarter number point of view. So you can see the year-to-date sales is a cumulative value. Okay, so same value, but you're now looking at it in a more granular way, or in a more granular format. So in 2017, the total sales was what? $733,000. So time intelligence functions help you to uncover more details, more insights from your data. There are a lot of time intelligence functions that we'll be unable to cover in this lesson. If you want to see more of these functions, you can go to the DAX documentation website on Microsoft Learn. Okay, on Microsoft website. In fact, a simple Google search will bring up most of these the documentation websites for DAX on Microsoft's Learn website. Okay, you can explore them yourselves. You can practice and take a look at them. Okay, so because of time, we're going to stop here today. In our next sessions, we'll talk about creating bookmarks, buttons for navigation in your report. So stay with us. It's only interesting from here. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
See you in the next tutorial. Until then, don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell to get updates on new videos, and share this video with your friends. Bye for now.